via Facebook streaming, YouTube streaming, and also via Skype. Each one of you is welcome to this live streaming from our studios in Trinidad. Today is the Hindu festival Deepavali, the festival of lights. Sutras of Vigyan Bhairav Tantra. Tantra, the science, the dimension of esoteric. Whenever any scripture happens, it is not written, it happens. It has three dimensions. And the people who can understand also. Three dimensions. The first, these three dimensions are the triune nature of the being. First of all, it is a text on esoteric secrets of Tantra. Let us put it this way here, Bhagavad Gita. It happened at the level of communion between Krishna and Arjuna. Arjuna asks question, he is in a state of quandary, does not know what to do, he has forgotten his duties and is caught up what is right and what is wrong in the play of the mind. Then, so when you ask someone a question, the science of esoteric says it is out of love. You have total trust in that person that when you ask the questions to this person, it will be answered. So there are two persons. Number one is the one who asks the question. Number two, who responds to those questions. So the one who is asking the question is confused, in a state of mind where there is agony, there is pain, and in the process of spiritual development, he is at the base chakra, the Mooladhara, the earth center. And the one who you are asking the question, that means he is at the basic level. And then one who is answering the question, he has reached the awakening. He is at the crown center, the 1,000 petal centers. All the centers are awakened in him. So this particular dialogue, whatever you may call, it is between the two. One who is at the base center, and because of that, not understanding many things, he asks questions. And the one who answers the question is very clear and he wants to commune. So it is out of love the question is asked, and out of love these are responded. So it is a journey between base center and the 1,000 petal centers, 7 layers. So there are 7 layers. So in one of these scriptures, Ramayana, one of the person, he asked 7 questions. Why 7? Because basically there are 7 layers of your being, and each layer, it is like a 7 staircases. You have a spiral staircase, and when you cross the one floor, you reach the level 1, level 2, and from each point, if there is a lookout, you will find a different view of the surroundings. Like if you are going to a mountain, there are different levels of seeing the scenic beauty. So from each level you will find a different view. So that is why there are 7 questions, because there are 7 layers or 7 planes from where you can look at the questions. So the question that you ask, it can be looked at the Mooladhara, the base center. It can be looked at the second layer, third layer, fourth layer. And by the time you reach the 7th layer, you have a clear perception. So this is the first thing. It is the Bhagavad Gita is a dialogue between Krishna and Arjun. Arjun is at the base level. In case of a 7-layer staircase, he is at the ground level. And if something is happening at the ground level, you are at the same level at which the things are happening, you will not be able to get a clear view. That is why when the news reporters and the cameramen, they use a certain device to reach the height or change their levels of height so that you can give you a clear picture of what is going on in that. When we look at it, Holy Prophet and Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, so the same analogy comes in. And when something is to happen, the science of Esoteric says that something has to be communed. So one has to be the medium. I am speaking to those chosen few who are attending to this session, and through these, the message is going to those who are intended, who may be ready now, who may get ready sometimes later. When the books started, the first book, Life, Love and Light, it was based on the questions asked by a seeker. Out of love, the questions was asked and answered. So that was one level. So that person, that seeker, became the medium through which the message was relayed. And so this is the first dimension. So Tantra happened at the level of esoterics, a dialogue between Shiva and Parvati. Both are awakened and they want to let if there is a dialogue between the two masters who are awakened, then whatever is happening between them, then it will benefit the humanity. Let us say today, one of my most beloved friend or person comes in, or your comes in. What you will do, you will try to welcome him with what you have. You will prepare different type of dishes and many things which you have not done on a normal basis, day-to-day basis. You will prepare those dishes to welcome that long-awaited friend. So all those people who are there in the house, they will also enjoy those dishes, will be benefited. So this is at that level. So this is a level which Bhagavad Gita says it is the level of Upanishads. Out of love only you will come close to the person. Out of reverence you will sit in the company of the person because you have asked a question. Out of love and reverence you are communed here to listen to this talk. This is of the nature of the Upanishad. Then it is not only that, it is the science of consciousness, Brahma Vidya. And Brahma Vidya is explained through yoga, the union. There are discordant elements in you. Your two minds are separate from one another. So it is the science that joins the complementaries to bring to a certain level. Then it is a dialogue between one who knows and one who is aspiring, Krishna and Arjuna, between Allah and Holy Prophet. Then in Bhagavad Gita, at the end of each chapter, it is said, this is Srimad Bhagavad Gita Su, Upanishad Su. This is first, in the first place, it is Upanishad. Then this is a science of consciousness explained through the science of yoga. It is Arjun and a dialogue between Arjun and Sri Krishna. So the first book is dialogue between me and the person who asked the question. Then at that level, this is the level of love at which only that person can understand. Then the text is somewhat modified as a science so that it can be generalized and it can be presented for others also. So this is the discipline of transcendence, where it comes a dialogue. It is written form, like Holy Prophet. When he used to go in Miraj Sharif, it is a long period of 23 years, and after he has communion with Allah, he will come and he will explain to his sahibis who were very close, in the close proximity, like what the word Upanishad says. And it was mentioned to them. Now there are scholars, and each scholar gives his own interpretation of Bhagavad Gita, Holy Quran, and other scriptures. So this is now in order to, I have communed with that seeker to respond to her questions, and then it was, so I was at that time a different person. When it was planned that this message should be put into the book form, then it is, I come as a discipline of transcendence. It could be someone else. So it is now a discourse between the two who are well versed in the art of expression. When I am speaking to you, it is a totally a different kind of you ask a question out of love. The language is different, but the language of writing or discipline of transcendence is slightly different than that. So it is the second level. And the third is the level of where it is an exposition of practical aspects of Tantra or the teachings of Bhagavad Gita or Holy Quran that people can practice on a day-to-day basis to be a better human being. So this is the dimensions now. The first level, when Bhagavad Gita was written, during that time, when it was actually happening, there were only few people who have understood it. First of all, it was a message on the battlefield of Mahabharata. Their armies were gathered on the two sides, desirous to fight, And it is a dialogue between Krishna and Arjun. Everybody is seeing something is happening, but nobody is able to decipher. It's like husband and wife, they are talking in their silent languages. There are people like women, they talk in the soft words. So everybody is seeing they are doing something, but nobody is able to decipher. Even if you put your ears like this, you will not be able to hear what they are saying. Women are, the feminine mind is very apt of talking that way. So everyone is watching, but who can hear it? It is the grandsire. He was able to hear it because he was pure at heart. Pure at heart, he was available there, he was able to hear it. Then Krishna's consort, Radha, who was miles away, and his connection, the connection between the two is the bond of love. So she was not there, she heard it as a song. So the one to whom this message was communed heard it as a song. It has a melody, and that captivated the heart to whom it was narrated. I am giving you the example of the book that was written there. So out of love, questions was asked. Out of love, they were answered, and it was spoken in that tone. Later on, the tone was changed into discipline of transcendence. Then another person who was a great devotee of Krishna and who was the minister, who was bound by certain responsibilities but not otherwise, so he heard it. Then the sage poet who composed it for the benefit of humanity, he heard it. So first of all, the one to whom it was communed, Shiva, it was a communion between Shiva and Parvati, a dialogue. So they understood it. It was a dialogue between the two in order for the benefit of the humanity. And then it came as a second aspect, discipline of transcendence, so that people like you and I, who are of a higher intelligence, can understand this message and bring about transformation in their lives. But that was not enough. Then there were practical aspects of it. If you follow this, then you will happen to this. So finally it comes out as if it is simply a dialogue between the one who understood it. Those who are on Facebook should switch over to YouTube because of the battery. The battery in the iPhone, the message cuts off after a certain period of time. So discipline of transcendence, it was, Buddha had scriptures known as discipline of transcendence, where he he mentioned, explained his total methodology and everything that was there. And in discipline of transcendence, that comes in 4 parts, and he explains that. So any scripture that is written has first 3 dimensions. First of all, it is a dialogue between one who knows and one who is aspiring. So journey between Mooladhar, the base center, transcendence. So the one who is seeking the questions is at the Mooladhar or base center. One who is responding is at the crown center. Between these there are 7 layers. So these things are explained at 7 planes. So you can say 7 planes of explanation. There will be certain questions. If I have to convert this into that aspect, certain questions I will categorize as the questions relating to the first layer, certain questions relating to the second layer, and so on and so forth. Each question relates to a particular level. As your level changes, the nature of your understanding changes, and your questions also change. A primary school student will ask the questions differently. A student who is at the college level, he will, and then the method of teaching is the same thing. At primary level, there is one word, science. As you move, it gets divided into various aspects. Science is very comprehensive: physics, chemistry, zoology, botany. Then it further divided into the physics, optics, magnetism, electricity, then chemistry, organic chemistry, inorganic chemistry. Then division keeps on going. And when the student completes the education totally, and he is in the field of the space research, he incorporates all the dimensions together. The organic chemistry, the biochemistry, the medicines, everything is incorporated into one discipline in order to send the spacecraft into the air. So it happens there. First of all, when you are understanding, you are being explained in that way. Then when you have understood it, you are putting everything together as the practical aspects to explain how to transform the life of an individual. In Zen, it is said, they ask when a person goes to the temple, have you discovered your original face? Original face is the face of innocence as you were born. When you were born, you were innocent, simply breathing, no mind was developed. Then you were conditioned into a particular aspect, the Hinduism, Christianity, Islam. As you enter the school, then it is asked, what is your field of specialization? Medical science. When you finish MBBS, you are taught everything: physiology, biochemistry, orthopedics, pediatrics, gynecology. Then you go beyond that. You specialize in one particular gynecology or that aspect, or gastroenteritis or internal medicine or cardiac specialization, then you incorporate all these things. In spiritual science, you return to your innocence knowingly. As a child, you were ignorant. Child was innocent, but his innocence was the outcome of ignorance. But the innocence of an awakened one is out of awakening. So this is where it comes in. You have discovered your original face. Morality creates hypocrisy. It will do so inevitably. Hypocrisy will remain, and it remains with morality. It is a part of it. Hypocrisy is the shadow of morality. Morality teaches you that you have to be this, but that can only be in future. As such as you are future oriented, and in reality this is what you are. So hypocrisy remains like the shadow following morality. This may look paradoxical because moralists are the men who condemn hypocrisy the most. But hypocrisy remains the shadow, and they are the ones who create it. Hypocrisy cannot disappear from the earth as long as morality is there. And morality is the way through which the conditioning comes. Your education system, your parents, your teachers. As long as morality, the concept of morality remains, hypocrisy will remain. Both exist together like the two sides of the coin. They are two aspects of the same coin, or the two sides of the same duality. This is duality. It gives you a certain kind of ideal which is future oriented, and your reality is other than the ideal. Your reality is somewhat different than what your ideal is. So this creates a conflict. This was the state when Arjun found himself in a chaotic state, despondency. Unless this comes, your journey of transcendence does not begin. Morality gives you the ideals, but you are not. That is why the ideal is given to you. You have to be this. You have to behave in a particular manner. You are born with it. You cannot do anything immediately about it. You can transform it. And that is where the entire teaching comes in. You can create a false face. You can pretend to be something that you are not, and that saves you. Then you can move more easily in the society. That's why we have the people in the movies you see, they have two faces. On the surface, they are a great charitable persons, but behind just the opposite. Because the unreal can be imposed only if the real is suppressed. You are an angry man, but the society says that it is not accepted. In society, it is not accepted. What you will do, you will pretend that you are not angry, but anger will manifest in many other forms. as physical deformities, physical ailments, and you have to suppress anger, which is your reality. And that is what is happening all around us. So we will continue this in the next session. Until then, take care and do have a pleasant day.